Hey there, Mystery Infinity fans. Get ready to step into a world where the unexplainable happens right before your eyes. Today, we're plunging into the mysterious and often spine-chilling realm of poltergeist activity. You know, those ghostly tales where objects move on their own, and strange sounds fill the air. It's the stuff of nightmares and blockbuster movies, but is there any truth to it? We're on a mission to unearth the reality behind these supernatural occurrences. Are poltergeists a glimpse into the paranormal, or is there a more down-to-earth explanation for these hair-raising happenings? Buckle up, because we're about to embark on a journey to dissect these eerie events. So, grab your favorite snack, turn down the lights, and let's dive into the enigma of poltergeists together. Poltergeist 101. Understanding the phenomenon. Poltergeists, the mischievous spirits of lore, have been spooking humanity for centuries. The term poltergeist comes from German words poltern, meaning to make noise, and Geist, meaning ghost. So, essentially, we're talking about noisy ghosts here, the kind that don't just whisper but throw things around. Unlike your classic haunting, where you might see a spectral figure drifting through walls, poltergeists are all about action. They're the unseen pranksters of the spirit world. Historically, poltergeist activity has been reported across cultures, dating back to ancient times. These aren't your typical ghost stories, they're more like ghost dramas. Reports often include unexplained noises, objects moving or levitating, and even physical attacks, though it's usually more of a scare than a harm. It's like living in a house with an invisible, mischievous roommate who's really into redecorating, usually in the least convenient ways possible. What sets poltergeist activity apart from other paranormal phenomena is the level of interaction. While a regular ghost might just be replaying a moment from their life, poltergeists seem to interact with their environment, and the people in it, in real time. Some theories suggest that poltergeists aren't spirits at all, but rather a type of uncontrolled psychic energy emitted by a living person, often during times of stress or turmoil. Think of it as a supernatural temper tantrum. In our journey to understand poltergeists, we dive into a world where the line between the physical and the paranormal blurs. These phenomena challenge our understanding of the natural world, leaving us with more questions than answers. Are poltergeists a window into another realm, or are they a manifestation of our own inner turmoil? Let's keep exploring to find out. Famous cases. From fiction to reality. When it comes to famous poltergeist cases, Hollywood has certainly had its fun, serving up a blend of horror and suspense that's thrilled audiences. But let's peek behind the curtain of fiction to see how it stacks up against reality. Take the iconic film, Poltergeist. It's got all the ingredients of a spooky blockbuster, but how does it compare to real-life poltergeist tales? Well, let's just say Hollywood tends to add a bit more pizzazz. One of the most talked about real cases is the Enfield poltergeist in England. In the late 1970s, a family in North London experienced a series of strange events. Furniture moving, knocking sounds, and even children levitating. It was like something straight out of a movie, except it was happening in their living room. This case grabbed headlines, stirred controversy, and even caught the attention of paranormal investigators. Then there's the Bell Witch haunting in Tennessee, a tale from the early 1800s. It's a story that mixes folklore with fright, involving unseen forces tormenting the Bell family with voices, physical assaults, and more. It's like the poltergeist world's version of a haunting soap opera, with a narrative so gripping it's become a staple of American ghost stories. Comparing these real-life cases to their cinematic counterparts, we notice a trend. Reality might not always have the dramatic special effects, but it certainly doesn't lack in intrigue and mystery. These tales, passed down through generations, blur the lines between fact and fiction, leaving us to wonder where the truth really lies. Whether a product of creative storytelling or actual events, one thing's for sure, poltergeist stories have a unique way of capturing our imagination and sending a chill down our spines. The science behind the spooky. In the quest to understand poltergeists, science has rolled up its sleeves and jumped into the ghostly fray. Let's start with psychology. Some researchers suggest that poltergeist activity might actually be the work of the living, not the dead. It's called the psychokinetic theory, where emotional turmoil, especially in teenagers, might unconsciously manifest as physical disturbances. So, if your plates are flying, maybe check if there's a moody teen around. Physicists have also weighed in, albeit with a more skeptical lens. They point out that the laws of physics aren't exactly on speaking terms with objects moving on their own. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction, right? So unless these poltergeists have studied physics, they're breaking some pretty fundamental rules. Some scientists even suggest that infrasound sound waves below the frequency of human hearing could be responsible for creating a sense of unease or even hallucinations. Then there are environmental factors. Could mold, electromagnetic fields, or even carbon monoxide be the real culprits? These seemingly mundane explanations might not be as thrilling as a spectral showdown, but they could explain why some people feel a presence or see things that go bump in the night. It's like blaming the weather for a bad mood, not exciting, but definitely possible. Lastly, let's not forget the power of suggestion. The human brain is a story-making machine, and in the right circumstances, it can turn shadows into specters and breezes into whispers. It's amazing how a creepy story and a creaky floorboard can transform a drafty room into a ghostly den. So, while science may not have all the answers to poltergeist phenomena, it certainly provides some food for thought, or should we say, food for skepticism. Eyewitness accounts, chilling testimonies. Dive into the world of eyewitness accounts, and poltergeist stories take on a whole new level of chill. These aren't just tales passed down through generations. They're personal experiences that turn skeptics into believers, at least for a moment. Take Sarah, for example, who swears her kitchen chairs moved on their own. She's not talking about a subtle scoot, but a full-on furniture rearrangement, and no, she doesn't have a very considerate burglar. Then there's the story of the Thompson family, who reported a series of unexplained noises in their home. We're not talking about the usual creaks and groans of an old house, but knocks and bangs so loud they thought a drum band had taken up residence in their living room. Night after night, the banging continued, with no logical source in sight. It was as if the walls themselves were trying to communicate, or start a percussion career. Amid these stories, common themes emerge, like objects moving, unexplained sounds, and even the occasional sighting of shadowy figures. It's like each house with a poltergeist story is putting on its own paranormal performance, complete with special effects. But here's the kicker. Most of these incidents happen with no one else around, turning these accounts into personal ghost stories that are hard to prove but harder to ignore. While eyewitness testimonies add a human touch to the poltergeist phenomenon, they also raise questions about reliability. Memory can be tricky, and fear has a way of distorting reality. It's a bit like telling a fisherman's tale. The fish always gets bigger with each retelling. So, while these stories are spine-tingling, they also remind us that sometimes, the most convincing ghost might just be our own imagination. Investigating the unseen. Modern techniques. In the shadowy world of poltergeist investigation, modern ghost hunters are more tech-savvy than you might expect. Gone are the days of wandering around with a candle and a prayer. Today's investigators come armed with an arsenal of gadgets that would make any tech enthusiast's heart skip a beat. EMF, electromagnetic field, meters, infrared cameras, digital voice recorders. It's like a ghost hunting version of a spy kit, but instead of catching double agents, they're after double-tapping phantoms. One popular tool is the EMF meter, which is believed to detect the energy fields that spirits supposedly emit. When the meter spikes in an empty room, it's either a sign of a ghost or a really strong Wi-Fi signal. Then there are infrared cameras, turning investigators into ghostly paparazzi, ready to snap a picture of the supernatural. These cameras don't just see. They peer into the world of cold spots and unexplained shadows. Digital voice recorders are used for capturing EVPs, electronic voice phenomena, the mysterious whispers from beyond. Investigators will ask questions into the silence, hoping for a ghostly reply. It's like leaving a voicemail for the dead and waiting for a callback. But more often than not, the only answer is the sound of one's own hopeful heart beating. Despite all this tech, the biggest challenge in investigating poltergeist activity is objectivity. Science demands reproducible results, but poltergeists are notoriously shy performers. It's a bit like trying to capture lightning in a bottle. Only the lightning is invisible, and the bottle is your own skepticism. This field of research teeters on the edge of the known and the unknown, where proof remains as elusive as the ghosts themselves. Investigators continue their quest, armed with gadgets and a hefty dose of curiosity, always hoping the next investigation will be the one that brings them face to face with the unexplainable. And that's a wrap on our eerie journey into the world of poltergeists. Are these occurrences just puzzles yet to be solved by science, or do they offer a glimpse into a supernatural realm? We'd love to hear your theories and experiences, so drop them in the comments below. If you've enjoyed this spine-tingling adventure, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Mystery Infinity for more deep dives into the fascinating and the unexplainable. We've got plenty more intriguing tales, from historical mysteries to scientific wonders, lined up just for you. Remember, keep an open mind as you explore the unknown, but not so open that your brains fall out, or worse, get whisked away by a mischievous poltergeist. See you next time in the realm of mystery and intrigue.